It's no secret now that the native people of Britain, in the respective countries that they call home, have been second-class citizens in said homes for a long time. The myriad of external threats that we face, in many instances, have outright taken over, ethnically cleansed, and colonized many of our towns and cities. But who have been the chief villains and chief architects of this story? Who is ultimately to blame for every town or city that has been taken over and colonized? Who is ultimately to blame for every case of religiously motivated paedophilic gang rape? Well, that lies solely at the feet, ladies and gentlemen, of our own governments. But as the native population begin to wake up, as the anger and discontent manifests more and more and more at their second-class treatment in pursuit of their ultimate eradication, the state has turned against them more and more and deployed every asset at their disposal against them, something my guest today knows all too well. My guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Joe Marsh, a long-standing voice and figure in British and Welsh nationalist politics, having been involved in EDL, BNP, and Patriotic Alternative, to name a few of Britain's nationalist initiative.
You know, I started out, I joined the BMP years ago when I was like in my 20s. One of the first people when they set up the EDL. I've been with Patriotic Alternative as well. A lot of people know me in South Wales because I'm probably the most well-known far-right activist in South Wales, you know.
Having seen firsthand the destruction of communities like Tower Hamlets, which you can only say have been ethnically cleansed and colonized, Joe, like many, has tried to warn people about the dangers that are being posed by mass immigration, these diversity and multiculturalism initiatives, much to the chagrin of a government that is profiting massively off of the destruction of their own people.
I went to work on Canary Wharf when they were building that, and I saw the state of Tower Hamlets and London is horrific. I saw a lot of crime while I was up there, you know? In some of these areas, it was all the graffiti was foreign, and it was just horrific.
Rival groups of foreign gangs warring on Britain's soil for territory and the ever-lucrative drug trade that often result in innocent people and children getting caught in the crossfire. Not to mention, in many areas, how normalized these crimes have become. A 9-year-old girl getting caught in the crossfire of what appeared to be two gangs of rival Turkish people that were operating in London, like two rival Turkish gangs that were operating in London.
Albanians killing each other in the drug trade.
So really?
Yeah, there's been at least 2 murders in Cardiff of Albanians who've been killed by other Albanians over drugs. I walked down there one night and there's all these takeaways. And I went down to Tesco, went back, went down in the morning. There's all tape all around the Tesco, right? Like police tape. And on the floor, there's all circles drawn on the floor where they've drawn around, obviously, bullet casings, right?
The hypocrisy, the seeming endless stream of left-wingers and liberals that are the first and loudest to champion the supposed success, utopia, that this multicultural paradise of Britain is, when in reality they live in some of the least diverse and most ethnically homogenous areas of the country. All the while, their people that are living in these areas could not be screaming for help any louder. A lot of the people then want to champion a lot of the left's initiatives like diversity, multiculturalism, all of these other things. You then look where they sort of live on the census data, and then you find out that they don't live in these areas. They don't live in they live in areas that are very predominantly ethnically homogenous.
Maybe they go down to the local corner shop and he's a lovely bloke and he gives them, you know, a bit of discount and this and that. And that's their experience of multiculturalism. And they think because of that, whole cities and areas need to be swamped.
How the police will do everything that they can to sow discord and create friction in your family to stifle your political activism. All the while, no crimes have been committed, and in many instances, these police are figuratively and potentially literally in bed with some of the worst people this country has ever known. A really good case where the police didn't do anything. It was the case of Ian Watkins, prolific paedophile, prolific Welsh paedophile, ex-lead singer of Lost Prophets, recently got stabbed to death in prison. And also Peter and Avril Griffiths as well. We've seen that the police are not only often just not willing to do anything, in many ways they're outright facilitating it, or worst case scenarios we've seen recently, potentially even involved in it.
We used to go to a pub called Bindles in Barry, right? And it's been knocked down now, right? But they were over there all the time. And one night, me and my mates, they invited us to a party on a boat. I got raided for the insult and racial hatred when I said that they should be searched before going on trains with rucksacks. My children were small then, they had their laptops together. Caused murder for me with her because she was going mental with me because she wasn't involved in anything that I do. The idea is that they want her to have a go at me, make my life hard so that I give up doing what I'm doing.
And some sage advice for the young men of this country who are going to be the ones tasked with saving it. For all of the browbeating, the demoralization, and the demonization of successive generations of nanny state government and hyper-vengeful feminists working hand in hand with them, it'll be down to you to save this country and ensure a future not only for yourself, but for your children and grandchildren and beyond.
If you've got a trade, if you're an electrician or a plumber or a chippy or whatever, right, you're bulletproof there, right? This is how I can do what I do. We live in such a tyranny here, you can be arrested for saying the wrong thing, you can lose your job, right? But people need to get themselves a trade, and then because I could move to Edinburgh tomorrow when I could get a job within days.
But it's something I wish that I had done growing up. No matter where you are, ladies and gentlemen, whether you live in a big city or a rural little Welsh town, you have a target on your back all the same. The target has been placed on your back by the traitors that we have in government. It's England today, it's Wales tomorrow. So if you want to grow up and prosper in the same country that your forefathers had and not have foreigners and foreign customs ruling over you, then stay tuned and be prepared to get active. This is Voice of the Valleys with Mr. Joe Marsh. Enjoy.